Recently, my husband was diagnosed with a bad back problem. He had bilateral stress fractures at L5 and arteriosclerosis of his L2 and 1. And he was in a back brace for 3 months, and he was doing fine. And then about 4 weeks ago, he took our dog for a long walk, and he paid for it for 5 days after that. He was in a lot of pain, and that was scary because he was supposed to get out of the back brace, and we didn't want him to have surgery. So I worked with one of my other teachers with the animal communication group, and we did Scalar on him. And then I asked Maryann to do Scalar Wave with me because I thought it would be more powerful, the two of us, to do it together. And we did it. And every morning I would ask him when he got up, how do you feel? How's your back? And he would always say, okay. And after we did it, since then, he has not had any back pain at all. He has not had any pain since then, which I'm really happy about. We're probably going to do more Scalar Wave on him. But that's incredible because he had asked me before this all started to help him, and I didn't even tell him that Maryann and I were doing anything to him. I told him afterwards when I found out that he felt really good.
First session we had was a mediumship session, and my husband had passed away, and she didn't really know my husband, but I will tell you, she is extremely gifted. She said things to me that she would not have known, and she really brought to life, again, my husband. Her gift is amazing, and she was able to tell me things that was very encouraging, also really helpful to me, especially receiving messages for what I was doing, particularly at that time, and also just a great person to have that information come from. So she's very gifted. She does it extremely well. She makes you feel very, very comfortable. Also had a cord removal done with Maryann a little while ago, and the energy work that Maryann does is so detailed. She's so ethical, she's so concerned, and she tells you exactly what she's doing, so it feels extremely comfortable. You know, you can have an energy attachment to people here, whether they're living or they're deceased, and she went through so much detail with regard to what she was doing, even as so much as explaining what the cords look like. So I felt wonderful afterwards, and even to this day, so amazing. But she makes you feel so comfortable. Again, very gifted with what she's doing, and I highly, highly recommend Maryann for any type of energy work. I had a past life regression done with Maryann, and to say that it was amazing is an understatement. Maryann actually found at least 5 personalities, 5 different lives that I was different entities with, and they all resonated with what I was doing today. In addition to that, they all served a purpose for what I'm doing today. So, you know, to say Maryann's gifted is, again, an understatement. She's concerned, she's ethical, and she does things the right way, so she's extremely trustworthy, and I highly recommend all of Maryann's services. I honestly can't say there's one that I like above another. She's gifted in all areas, so if you're interested and you want, certainly take her up on it. She's one of the most ethical people that I have ever known, both professionally in the corporate world and also what she's doing today.
I had Maryann contact my grandmother for me. What I found so incredibly interesting was not only the amount of work that she does in your absence. When you meet with her, she's done all the work. I was going expecting it to be, you know, kind of step by step in her presence. But she does all of that work before you even sit down with her. So not only was I able to, you know, feel my grandmother's presence and some of the other family members who had passed, because I'm kind of the youngest in my family, and I'm a little long in the tooth, and so everybody's gone, and everybody was there. But what blew my mind was the note that she had on the back of the paperwork that said, you know, uncle energy. And I had not mentioned my uncle to Maryann. What she didn't know was that my uncle used to call me his favorite niece, and he had just passed a few years recently. I wasn't expecting to hear anything from my uncle, but that kind of shows you how, I guess, if I don't want to use the word efficient, she's just incredibly intuitive, you know, for her to be able to reach these energies, not even in your presence, I think is quite a gift. And, you know, what you get out of it in the end is what makes it all worth it, you know. I left there with a renewed feeling of happiness. I would definitely recommend Maryann to anyone, and have. I was recently at a party and singing Maryann's praises. I can't even remember how it came up, but I find an excuse to talk about my friend Maryann, and a co-worker with someone I've known for many years that I don't work closely, but in different buildings now, said to me, you know, I would really like to meet her. And it turns out this was someone who seemed so joyful to me on the outside, was really struggling with something on the inside, and Maryann has been able to help her. We recently did some work together, and she said that Maryann has been an absolute blessing in her life. So in terms of recommendations, absolutely. And anyone who'll listen, I will be sure to tell them that she's been very helpful.
Okay, so Maryann she did many services for me. So she did a past life regression. She also did a reading. She did a cord removal. She also did a soul portrait for me and a home clearing when I just moved into my new place in October. She came down and she sort of cleared the house of all negative energies and just made it very light and very zen for me to be in that place. She also connected with members of my family that have passed, which she helped me to realize some information that I didn't even know about it. So those are the services that I sort of used Maryann for. So when she did the cord removal, basically it's removing negative energies or entities that people have attached to you. That she was able to talk me through it and actually make me an active participant of it. And just the whole feeling of being zen and just being at peace with myself afterwards was truly an amazing experience that she was able to provide. And when she did the past life regression, just the things that she was able to see and connect, and how certain themes related life after life to who I am today was just absolutely amazing. And you know, she just makes you feel so at ease just sitting there. And it's very welcoming, and she's like that with everyone.
Coming in from Colorado, her name is Tracie Bork. She's a neuroscientist, and she had the great opportunity to connect with our very special guest, Maryann Kelly. Tracie, it's great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us on CU TV News.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Maryann, how did you and Tracie form this relationship? How did you guys meet each other initially?
So initially I got a request through my website for a reading. I hadn't known Tracie previously, which is very typical of my clients, that I don't know them in advance.
Yeah, Tracie, tell us, how did this all work, and how has dealing with Maryann benefited you and enhanced your life in such the beautiful way that it has?
Yes, when I first went to Maryann, I was looking for answers, basically, and being a scientist, I think I had skepticism in the beginning, but I was also so desperate for the relief of pain. And so by the time I actually got to Maryann, I was totally open to any possibility that might help me. So when I first did the reading with her and she came up with all this information that she had absolutely no way to know, I was amazed. I was like, how could she possibly know these things about me? How could she know about my childhood? How could she know about all these things? And so it was really phenomenal to listen to her be able to pinpoint things that I really had hidden, I really had ignored, I really had not allowed myself to recognize. So her ability to key in on those points that I was busy ignoring or not allowing to surface was incredibly useful to me. And then we went on and did further energy work, Scalar Wave and whatnot, and within a week or so after that, that pain that I'd been dealing with for wow, since I was in
years,
college,
yeah.
a long time, was
yeah.
gone. It was gone.
That
And
is
so,
incredible. And you had tried multiple things over the years to try to alleviate it, and none of it was really working.
exactly, because I thought it was structural. I mean,
Right.
my mind immediately went to, it's a structural problem. You need to go do this. You need to go see a doctor. You need to go see a physical therapist. And so I've been seeing somebody on and off for all these years. And only when that pain was gone did I realize that, oh my goodness, this thing that you have had in your body all this time was actually the unidentified trauma that you had been hiding for all those years. And it just kept talking to you and trying to get you to pay attention. And I didn't know how to make it surface. And only through talking with Maryann and having her read me and help me identify it and let it out was that pain able to dissipate. So I was amazed. I was amazed to be able to walk up and down stairs without that pain. I couldn't do that before. I couldn't stand in the kitchen on both legs and cook. I was always one-sided because I couldn't stand on that hip. So it was amazing. I can't say enough about it.
Absolutely. Now, prior to having this interaction with Maryann Kelly, you're a neuroscientist. You have a brilliant scientific background. Did you ever give thought to a medium prior, or were you resistant to it or hesitant or didn't explore it? So that's why this is extra amazing for you from the scientific approach?
I mean, I'm a biologist. From a scientific approach, I mean, way back then when I was trained to do this work, I never would have thought anything about it. And that's why early on when I had pain, it was like, what do we do when we have pain? We're trained to go to the doctor, go to a physical therapist because it's structural. You don't think that your pain is caused by repressed emotion. And I've softened, obviously, over the years, and I'm telling you, when you have enough pain, you will entertain any idea to get rid of it. It changed my life. I couldn't do so many things anymore. I just couldn't because I was in so much pain. And so that, Maryann changed my life. I mean,
tell us about that.
Changed.
Tell us about the ways in which your life, Tracie's life, is different now than before the interaction with Maryann Kelly. Some of the amazing things you're doing and able to do now.
I'm able to go up and down stairs. I am able to stand in my kitchen and cook. I am able to walk out onto my deck. Previously, it's like a 3-inch difference between the deck and inside the house. I couldn't get out there because that much of a step was too much.
Yeah.
And so I would sit and watch my partner water our plants and do stuff. I couldn't go out there and enjoy it.
And these are all common everyday things that we all just routinely do and don't even give another thought that were things that you weren't able to do and now you can do.
Right. So no, my life has changed. When I went in, I mean, I also see, I still see a physical therapist, but
Sure.
I mean, it's changed over the years. I don't see somebody to readjust me. I see somebody who also does energy work with me now. And the week before I saw Maryann, I went in a wheelchair. I walked in with a walker the week after I saw Maryann. And that to me is like, I could stand up straight.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I could walk again.
Right.
And so this changed my life. I mean,
yeah.
There's just no other way to describe it.
Yeah, we can hear it and we see it in your eyes, how deep it is for you, and it's beautiful. And I'm so happy. We're all happy that this is what's transpired. If there's somebody watching right now who maybe they're a little skeptical, or maybe they've just never done this before, and they're going through something similar, or they know somebody in their life who is, what would you say to somebody like that if they were to ask you about Maryann specifically and just the overall experience of dealing with an expert medium?
I would say that you don't have anything to lose. That if you are in enough pain and you are searching for answers and you don't know what it is, I mean, I think all of us, we have traumatic childhoods. It's just the way it is. Not anything horribly significant, but maybe it was to that little kid. And so if you're looking for something and you can't find it, I've been looking for so long, and Maryann was able to find it for me. I would say call Maryann, write her, and get an appointment and have a reading, because things you will find out are amazing.